Okay. Um, Welcome. I'm Adam. If you're watching this, you obviously know that this is for the love of it. And today's video is a little different. It's not a scripted video. It's impromptu, and it's sort of an end of the year reflection. This has been our first full year as a YouTube channel. And for those of you who have joined us along the way, first of all, I want to say a huge thank you. And I love each and every one of you. But it's been quite a while, but it's been quite a ride. And I wanted to share. It's December 17th. It's the end of the year. We just got a couple more weeks left. I wanted to share my sort of thoughts. What is a year's worth of YouTube like? What are my takeaways? What are the things that I've learned? What are the ways that it's challenged me? What are the things that I'm going to do next and implement? Uh, how has YouTube changed me? And what does the future of the channel look like? And so that's what today's video is going to be. And it's very much impromptu. I literally just have an outline of just major points, but for the most part, it's just impromptu. And I'm just going to share my heart and my feelings. And hopefully someone will find it useful. But I want to share real quickly 4 things that I've learned over the past year making content on YouTube. Now, if you've been following us since the beginning, you know that we didn't start out as specifically a YouTube channel, but we started out as it was the video portion of our podcast. For the Love of It podcast had actually been around for about a year and a half before we launched on YouTube. It wasn't until January, February of 2024 that I published our first YouTube video. And from that time forward, there's just been so many different videos, so many different changes, so many different styles, and it was so inconsistent, especially at the beginning. Um, but we have been posting videos for the past year. But there's 4 things that I just kind of wanted to talk about that I think for me are the major takeaways from spending an entire year focused on YouTube videos. The first thing is that YouTube really is a saturated market. And I don't think you have to spend a year on YouTube in order to realize that it's a saturated market, but you really do get that impression and you really do understand that quickly when you are trying to build a channel and you're trying to be a content creator. I can't tell you the number of times I've sat back and I have thought to myself, or I've either said to Nate, I've said, man, if it was like 10 years ago, I wonder how different this experience would be. I wonder how much of an audience or how much of a community we would actually have built within a year 10 years ago as opposed to today. One of the things, and I've heard this said many times before, one of the things that's really important to keep in mind is that attention is the currency of content creation. And if you're going to be on YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is, whatever platform that it is, attention really is your currency because the algorithm looks at the amount of attention that people are giving you, and it decides whether or not to put your video in front of more people based on how much attention that video has already received. And so it can be really hard when there's only so much attention available, but there are so many people who are seeking that attention. It's basic supply and demand, right? And 10 years ago, you'd meet any millennial on the street, and maybe 1 out of every 3 would say, I want to be a content creator. But today, you meet any Gen Z on the street, Gen Alpha on the street, and they'll tell you they want to be a content creator. Like they want to make a YouTube channel. They want to be an influencer, right? They want to be a TikToker. They want to be a photographer on Instagram or something like that. And so the market's more saturated. And you know what? That's just the way that it is. There are other markets that are very saturated. I think of like the AI startup market. Oh my goodness, is it saturated? YouTube just happens to be one of those markets that are saturated. And I won't dive into kind of the nuances of that here, but that's one of the first things that I really learned. Because of saturation, you're encouraged to niche down very quickly. YouTube is full of people who are trying to find the right niche. Some are looking because they feel lost in their creativity, like they're trying to find what their creative outlet is. And some people are just looking, they're just looking to play the game. They're just looking to play the rules in such a way that they can get the most and maximize the most attention that they could possibly get. And the content that they use to do that, it doesn't matter as much to them because it's just they just have to win the attention game. The second thing I learned very quickly is to ignore negative comments. One of the first videos that I posted that did reasonably well, I would say, was the AI and the Great Unplug video. And that video honestly was just an amalgamation of all of my thoughts for the past like 6 months on AI. And I thought to myself, I'm like, this conversation is happening right now culturally. I've had these thoughts for months and months and months. I really should just put them out there now instead of waiting later. So that's what I did. And it did reasonably well. But it was the first video where negative comments really flowed in. And at first, I wouldn't say I took them personally, but at first they were like little punches at my heart when I first would read them, because you put your heart into writing a script, you put your heart into delivering a script, into editing the video, into polishing the content and publishing it. And when you publish something, it's like it's like you're setting your baby out there to be seen by the world, and your hope and prayer is that it's accepted. And when it isn't, it hurts. Um, and when it's not just not accepted, but it's like people don't receive it well at all, they don't like it, it hurts even more. At the beginning, yeah, there were little punches, but after a while, I learned to ignore them. I learned that it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what kind of content you make. There are always going to be negative comments, always. And thankfully, I've been in a much healthier response method to negative comments. I do read them because there are times where a negative comment has produced constructive changes in the way that maybe I deliver a script or the way that I edit a video. But for the most part, I'll read a comment and then just move on. And at the end of the day, that's tough to do, but it's what you have to. You may have to do in order to keep moving, because you're not making those videos for the people that hate them. You're making it for the people that want to see them, and those are the people that make you smile. The third thing is the importance of balancing the entrepreneurial mindset with being passionate for your craft. What I mean by this is, if you there's two ways that you can approach being a YouTuber, being a content creator. One is an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is someone who's like, I'm going to start a business. I'm viewing this as a business venture. I'm starting a business. And so I'm going to treat this as that. The other way is it's just a passion. It's just something I enjoy. I like doing these on occasion. You don't really care how often you post. You don't care how many people see it. You don't really put effort into your thumbnails. You don't really put effort into getting attention. You just put your effort into doing what you love. And that's the spectrum between A and B. And if you want to actually be a content creator, I have understood the importance of balancing between those two things. If you only view it as an entrepreneur, if you only view it as a business, then one of two things will happen. You'll either burn out because of just constantly pushing yourself to produce a business, constantly pushing yourself to build something, and you'll lose the love of it for the love of it. You'll lose the love of it, or you'll just become like a content factory. You'll just become like one of those channels that doesn't really care about good content, that's only maximizing the attention that a video could possibly get with disregard to the quality of the content it's producing, because you're so focused on starting a business that you've lost perspective on the beauty and artistry of the content that you're making in the first place. If you only view it as a passionate side project or if you only view it as a passionate artist, okay, so on the other side of the spectrum, your growth is going to be almost impossible, especially if you want to actually try to be a YouTuber. Now, of course, there's story after story of success, and I follow several subreddits for YouTubers, and I've read lots of those stories. But the reality is, you have to have some sort of entrepreneurial mindset in order to at least be competitive against other channels that are in your niche and other content that's in your niche. Because, like I said, if point number one, it's a very saturated market. And because it's such a saturated market, you have to have some semblance of entrepreneurship in the way that you approach it. So, learning to balance those things is really important. The fourth thing is that if your goal of success is to have 1 million followers and be monetized, um, there's no easy way to your version of success. And again, there are stories and stories, and I've talked to many people. I personally know people who will tell. I'll say, you have 40,000 subscribers. What was that like going from zero to your first thousand? And some people will tell me, well, I started and within a month I was monetized and had over 1,000 subscribers, and I'm like, what? Everyone's story is different, and there are those exceptions. But the truth is that for everyone that does eventually become successful, it takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort, it takes a lot more than you think. And if you think you know what it's going to take, trust me, it takes more than that. Um, I watched my brother start a business. He's the founder, creator of Neary Creative, and it has just recently started to become relatively successful. And it's been a joy, and it's been a privilege to watch him go through that process because I've learned so much about what it really takes to start a business and how difficult it can be and how arduous it can be, but also how beautiful the payoff and reward can be in that patience and in that determination and that will. And so if you're serious about being a content creator, don't give up. And it's going to be a long road, but it's a road that hopefully at the end there'll be a reward. And hopefully you'll be blessed by that. So those are kind of the 4 lessons that I've learned. What I want to share now are 4 frustrations. So, what are the things that have frustrated me the most over the past year of doing YouTube? What are the things that have discouraged me the most over the past year of being on YouTube? The first thing is I just when a video performs poorly. When a video performs poorly, it's discouraging. Um, and in some ways, it's frustrating. You watch someone else's video on the same topic and they'll get 50, 60,000 views and you think to yourself, like, why is their video getting all these views and mine in it? I mean, it's the same topic. We're different channels covering it at different times. Even maybe I made the video before theirs came out weeks later, and you just ask yourself, like why? Why isn't my video getting views but theirs video is? And I put like so much more time and effort into covering the specific topic, and you just feel like the payout is just kind of like a stab in, just stab in the chest, and you're just like, what, like, what's wrong with my videos? Not that you think your videos are really the best or that great or amazing, because honestly, I don't. Like, I really don't think that my videos are that great or amazing. So it's not that. It's not this like self-righteous indignation that like, oh, I'm this really great editor and my videos have to do well because they're so great and amazing. But it's the sense of y- you put so much heart and effort into it, and when it does poorly, you wonder like, oh, there must be something wrong with me. Um, and so it can be discouraging at times. And the really, really good part is learning how to overcome that discouragement, because the tools that you use to overcome that discouragement are going to be tools that you are going to need in the future as well. The second thing, frustration and discouragement, is not having answers or the mean to get answers to your questions. And what I mean by this is no help from YouTube. Um, I remember having a question about analytics, and I tried and tried and tried and tried and tried to find someone to reach out to get answers from, but I couldn't. Like, I couldn't find an email, I couldn't find a phone number, all I could find was a feedback form, and it was really frustrating because I was so confused why this number wasn't matching up with this other number. I was really confused why the algorithm would show my content to certain number of people. I'll get all these impressions, and then it would just die even though it seemed like the click-through rate was really good. I had so many questions that I just couldn't get answers to, and that's actually when I discovered all the subreddits that I'm a part of, about small YouTube channels, and because there's really no way to get straightforward answers to these things unless you're, like, on the in of the partnered program, like, you've made it to that level of being in the YouTube partnership program, and so that can be very frustrating, to be honest. The third thing is feeling like promotions create fake engagement and subscribers, and I knew from the beginning that most like services that are gonna like offer to create engagement for your content, most of those are fake, most of those are throttled, most of those that's fake engagement, and you don't want that. Um, but you can promote a video in YouTube Studio, like through Google Ads. You can literally promote a video. Go to promotions tab, click on a video, put like what, 50 bucks or something towards promoting the video in YouTube. And so I'm like, well, if this is a YouTube feature, if this is a Google feature, it must be real. And so at the very beginning, especially, I would promote videos, and because in my mind, I'm thinking it's such a saturated market that, um, in order for our videos to have any chance of getting seen, like, we have to promote them because I just can't imagine how anyone would really be able to find them. Um, because if you search our channel, you actually can't find our channel. If you just open like a new tab, not being logged into YouTube, and you just search for Love It, you will not find us. And so was promoting videos through the YouTube platform, but I just wrestled with, like, if I have 4,000 subscribers, then why can't I connect with any of them? Why don't I get engagement from any of them? Like, where are those 4,000 subscribers? And I feel like those promotions brought in people that clicked subscribe, but subscribers aren't what matter. It's engagement that matters. And what I want more than anything is to engage. I want to engage with my subscribers. I want to engage with my community. I want to have conversations with them. That's why for a time, I was doing the live Q&As every single week because I wanted to talk to all of you. I wanted to meet you, have conversations with you, get to know you. I wanted to hear from you, and I just struggled with figuring out how to do that. And there's this number, this 4,000 subscribers, and I'm thinking, is this really 4,000 subscribers? Where are all these people? Um, that's a frustration. That's a discouragement. And I don't necessarily have like an answer to that, even though we're at the end of the year. But it's something that I've kind of accepted. I've accepted that I'm not just going to be able to flip on a live stream or a camera, and all my followers are going to be like, "Oh, Adam is on. Let's go talk to him." I've accepted that's not really the case, and that's okay, right? That's okay. I can't put my expectations on the people that subscribe to my channel and just expect them to be a certain kind of subscriber who wants to actually engage with the content on a regular basis. Because I understand there's millions of channels that people engage with, and some people engage with other channels more than they engage with other content. And so I totally understand that. But the frustration is definitely there. And I've learned that subscribers do not matter as much as engagement. The fourth frustration, I guess I'd say, is exhaustion. Like, it can be pretty tiring. If you don't have the right mindset and you don't have the right pace, you're going to get burned out very quickly. Again, a lot of this does depend on the niche because I've just heard story after story of people just finding the right niche, and then within a month, they're already successful and floating. But regardless of how it goes for you and what specific niche you're in, it is exhausting. Like, even if you've met that goal of a million subscribers, even if you are monetized and you're generating income that you've been able to take some workload off of your shoulders, it's still exhausting because along with that comes growth. And you're always growing, you're always changing, you're always learning. And so it's exhausting. And so you really need to find a healthy rhythm, a healthy pace. You have to, or you're going to be burnt out. And so that kind of leads me into what's next. What does 2025 look like for the love of it? The first thing I'd say is quality over quantity. One of the things that I did sort of towards the end of August was I had hired someone that I met on Fiverr to do sort of an audit for our channel. And they looked over our channel, and one of the comments they made was, you should try posting every single week. And so I sat down and I thought, okay, I'm going to write 8 scripts and I am going to post one video every week for 2 months. And at the end of those 2 months, I'm going to just re examine our analytics, re examine where we're at, and see if that pace, see if that level of intensity is worth it. Is it worth it to put that level of intensity of video every single week into the channel to produce whatever outcome, whatever analytics that I'm looking for? Is that going to be worth it? Right? Is that kind of intensity going to have a return on investment? I suppose. One of the things I honestly would say that I learned is that it didn't make enough difference for it to be worth it. It didn't make it enough difference for quantity to really be worth it. And the videos that I took time to do, and I really took my time to break down into scenes and storyboard and that we shot A-roll for, and I had people helping me film. Those videos have always performed better than the other videos. And so I learned 2 things. One, quality does matter more than quantity, despite what people honestly repeatedly told me, that I just need to be pumping out content as much as I can. I don't wanna say that they're wrong, because I do think that there is value in being able to be consistently pushing out content, because I think that the algorithm, at least I think the algorithm really does love that. But I think maybe this is a shift in culture, but there is this value in quality that isn't really talked about or isn't really like in the obvious. It's not in the training data for how to become a YouTuber. Um, I do think that quality is a little more important. And quality isn't just the quality of the video that you're making, but it's also the quality of the content that you're presenting. Is your content relevant? Does your audience and the audience that YouTube pushes your videos to, are they going to be engaged with it? Are they going to look at that and be like, that's an enticing thumbnail, or that's an enticing um, video idea? I want to watch that. I want to see what he has to say about this. Um, those 2 things. So like having high quality videos, but also having high quality content, high quality scripts, high quality ideas that are engaging, that are relevant. It would like doing that kind of video once every 3 weeks is more valuable than doing like a mediocre video every single week. That's what I learned. So moving forward, we're going to be focusing on quality. And I've got a couple of videos kind of in the works. I have one more actually. I have one more video that was supposed to be posted this month, but I'm postponing that to January because I wanted to do this one. But moving forward, we're going to be putting a lot more quality and intention and heart and just passion into every video that we make. And it might be 2 weeks between videos, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I don't know. But I do hope that you stay along for the ride in 2025. Um, and I also would love feedback on everything that I'm saying in this video. But I'd love feedback on, what are your thoughts? Did you like seeing a video every single week, or would you actually like to see more quality videos, even if it means that they're posted less often? The second thing about what's next, like what's the future. The second thing is we're going to continue the FTL podcast. We have actually started doing episodes just last month, and it's been really exciting, really awesome. Nate is kind of the creative director behind the For the Love of It podcast. And we have, I think, 3 episodes under our belt. If you haven't listened to any, please give them a listen. They're so good. They're so awesome. And Nate does such a great job kind of coordinating everything and getting everything published and editing everything. And so we're going to be continuing the For the Love of It podcast. I'm really excited to be able to put my heart and passion back into that because I really started to miss that for a while because we were taking a hiatus as I was trying to build the YouTube channel. And so that's the second thing we're going to continue focusing on in 2025. The third thing is I want to focus on trying to build a community. You know, according to according to YouTube, there's 4,000 subscribers. There's 4,000 people out there who could potentially watch this video, maybe more. And the first thing I want to say is I love each and every one of you. Um, and whether or not you like our content, I am super blessed that you're just watching this video. I am super blessed that you chose to subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. As you know, it really does help, and I really appreciate it, and it really does mean a lot to me. And every single person that hits the subscribe button is a person that I want to meet. It's a person that I want to have a conversation with. And I'm going to spend 2025 trying to figure out how can I engage with you? How can I talk to you? How can I get to know you? And so my challenge to you is in the comments, let me know what's the best way to do that. What are your thoughts on how I can connect with you this next year? I want to hear from you because you are the most important voice to me, and I want to hear it for 2025. So those are a few of my just thoughts about 2024, the things that I've learned as being on being on YouTube for a whole year, some of the frustrations and challenges that I faced, and then the things that I'm really looking forward to and excited about for the future. So I just want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank everyone for being a part of this journey. And I really want to just thank everyone for being a part of For the Love of It.